Hi, my name's Shane Cowger. I'm the sales manager here at Arvest Bank with Summer Massey, our loan manager, and we're going to bring to you 5 reasons why businesses fail. All right, Summer, so we've got 5 points. Our first point being, talks about here, it's not just the lack of capital, but it's really more the lack of understanding of their cash flow. What does that mean to an entrepreneur, to a business owner?
I think it's important for a business owner to understand their cash cycle. Cash is king. And so having access to cash is always going to help mistakes that come up. There are things that are outside the box that are unforeseen, and cash always smooths over those issues. But if you haven't planned properly, or don't know your terms, or don't understand your cost of money, or don't understand how to manage your balance sheet with the turn of assets or inventory, or slow your payables, you may not be utilizing your cash flow wisely. And you may be paying too much for money. You may be borrowing when you can be taking discounts. And it could accomplish the same thing and be more cost effective.
So the second point you talk about, do not understand the cost benefits of their actions. They pay too much for opportunity. Are we talking about too much opportunity for acquisition cost of customers? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, I think what happens is business owners will overestimate the benefit of an action and underestimate the cost. So sometimes they might pay too much for a customer. They might accept terms or contracts that are too restrictive and can impact the business negatively. Or they might pay too much to enter into a territory and they haven't looked at all the cost-benefit factors that would impact them. Or they may not understand where they should be putting their money. For example, I've worked with this company that they're very reliant on equipment, and it needs to be efficient for them to work in their narrow margins. But the management started taking money out of the company, or the owner started taking money out of the company, and didn't reinvest in the equipment, and they became less efficient with that equipment, and their margins further declined.
So some of this third point, it talks about do not understand their own industry, and they don't anticipate changes in the economy. I mean, this year with the new administration, that in itself impacts a lot of different industries. So talk a little bit more, elaborate about this idea of sometimes business owners don't really fully understand their industry.
Yeah, I think it's really important that they understand their industry, they understand the things that are going to impact their industry, that they are paying attention to what their competitors are doing, and that they understand what they're good at. Sometimes business owners will overestimate one aspect of the industry, and they'll think that applies into another aspect, and that overconfidence will lead them down the wrong path. So understanding all of those outside factors that can impact the business is important.
So this next point, you talk about owners' actions. What do you mean by owners' actions?
I think a lot of small business owners try to do everything themselves. So understanding really what they're good at and what they need to delegate, that's really helpful for an owner to understand. The other thing is, though, sometimes owners underestimate the time and what's required for them to inject into the company. And I don't mean just cash, I mean their own time and their own sweat equity. And occasionally an owner might think that their lifestyle should be compensated earlier than the business is really ready to support that kind of lifestyle.
So a business owner shouldn't anticipate to put in simply 40 hours a week, Summer?
I totally agree. They should not think that 40 is going to work.
So this last point, improper planning and lack of trusted advisors. This is actually a very important piece. We see a lot of businesses, entrepreneurs that, quite frankly, do some improper planning. So elaborate kind of what you see and some things when you talk about trusted advisors, who those trusted advisors could be.
I think it's good for a business owner to have trusted advisors in their banker, and understanding what access to capital might be out there. I think it's good to have conversations with other competitors, maybe not directly competing with you, but maybe in different markets to get that industry expertise. I think it's also important for trusted advisors to understand that environment, understand the industry, understand the cash flow cycle that we talked about earlier, but also understand the owner's long-term plans. Do they want to sell the company? Do they want to pass it on to the next generation? How will that impact the long-term viability of the company?
So there's a great point about business planning. In fact, our next segment, we're going to talk about more, we're going to go more in depth about a business plan and what it should entail. Until then, I'm Shane.
And I'm Summer.
Thanks for watching.